Hey YouTube, Moose Cow here, continuing this game of Kings and Kaisers. I am of course playing the Allied Powers while the Madman is playing the Central Powers. And it's Russia's turn, round 4, and things are not looking good for Russia. So much so that it is increasingly unlikely that I will be able to prevent the Russian Revolution. I thought that due to the position down here in the Middle East and Caucasus, I thought for sure that the Ottomans would come back or stay in Caucasus, but no, they proceeded forward, and that was a fatal mistake on my end because now there is no way that I can prevent 7 territories from being Central Power controlled unless I somehow get incredibly lucky here in Belarus. So, without further ado, this is Russia's turn. My purchases are one IPC on a rail extension and 21 IPCs on 7 infantry. Now, if I don't prevent the Russian Revolution from occurring, this does not get even put down. That is the severity of the situation, So, basically, I'm doing an attack in Estonia and I'm doing an attack in Belarus, and if somehow he gets unlucky and doesn't get 5 hits against me, as you'll see why, if he doesn't get 5 hits against me and I contest his territory, then the game continues as normal for another round, but I highly doubt that'll happen. We'll see. So, Eastern Ukraine is contested. There's no chance of me taking control of that, but contested doesn't account against me. It's Central Power controlled that accounts for me. If the Central Powers have 7 territories controlled at the end of any combat phase of Russia, of the Russian Empire, then the revolution immediately occurs. And the Madman has already told me that if it occurs, he will accept the armistice. So I have to try my best to prevent that armistice from happening, or at least do as much damage against the Central Powers that I can. So here's what I'm doing for my movement phase. So the combat here that occurred in eastern Ukraine, Austria-Hungary's turn, he took my cavalry as a casualty. So instead of the cavalry, I'm taking another artillery. And that way I can use this cavalry to tow an artillery into Belarus. And then these 3 infantry and 1 artillery from Central Russia will come into Belarus. If I lose, which is very likely, then this cavalry, pardon my band-aid, this cavalry will be captured by the Central Powers because it cannot be taken as a casualty. But yeah, he'll gain a cavalry out of it. Praying for a miracle here, especially because he has air superiority, because he has a fighter in there. So we'll see. We'll have a combat here in contested Karelia, and then I'll try my best to knock out Estonia and get hits against that. So there's 3 artillery and 1 infantry from Ingria going into Estonia. This battle will occur with those units. And let me think here. Yeah, that'll be it. These 2 units here will rail from Urals to Central Russia. An artillery and an infantry. Oh, actually got flipped upside down. These 2 infantry here, why not? I will move them to Tuva. And these units here will stay. I'll leave 1 infantry and move an artillery to here, so that this stays contested for sure. My downfall is supremely likely, but we'll see. Like I said. Okay, so those guys are there, these are here. And then this battleship is going to go 1, 2. And here's a kind of a rule here. So in the original 1914, of Axis and Allies, the only canal or strait that matters is Egypt. And we decided to incorporate Gibraltar. Oh, this one's flipped upside down for some reason. Gibraltar subs can pass through here, but nobody else can. The Strait of the Turkish Straits is in effect, so allies cannot just go through here. The Danish Strait is in effect, and we also have the Panama Canal and as well the Suez Canal, which is in the original 1914. But anyway, point being, so because the Danish Straits is in Denmark and Denmark is neutral, the restriction of a movement of the Danish Straits is not in effect unless one side or another controls Denmark. So if Germany went in here and attacked Denmark and took control of it, I would not be able to move through here, and they would not be able to move through. The allies from here, the British and the French and the Americans would not be able to move through here if they control it. But since nobody controls it, there's no effect from it, right? But there are the mines that I still have to roll for. Oh, sorry, my Zeppelin's here. So I have to roll for a mine in this territory, and I have to, or sea zone, rather. I have to roll for a mine in this sea zone. Oh man, my dexterity. Oh man. Apologies. Let me fix this for a second. Okay, so basically, I have to roll for a mine in this territory, and I have to roll for a mine in this territory, and then I'm attacking these two German subs. And Madman has already told me that if I go through the two mines unscathed, he will submerge, and I get to fire a round against him, and if I don't hit him, or if I hit him regardless, whatever's left submerges. If I move through here and I get hit from any point of these mines, and I am still attacking here, then he will fight. Oh man, doing this one-handed is kind of awful, not gonna lie. But anyway, I just fixed it. Ooh. Okay, all right, I just fixed it. Anyway, so that's what's gonna happen here. So we got a battle here, we got a battle here, and we got a battle here against all odds. So I'll leave that for last. Battleship here, and by the way, if the Russian Revolution occurs, which it probably will, all the Russian pieces will get off the board. I will cut and do the setup, and I will roll for the turn order of the Russian Civil War, and we'll go from there. But anyway, let's do these two battles. So here's the Russian dreadnought coming in here. I'm gonna go ahead and roll for each mine. Ooh, that was an artillery from there. All right. So here's for the mines in C Zone 26. 2. Oh, very close. Okay, I got lucky there. C Zone 21. Ah, dang. Okay. All right. Well, I got damaged. So go ahead. So he has instructed that instead of submerging, he will fight. Madman always gets really lucky on the what you call it, the mines. So I'm not surprised. But anyway, because I'm coming in with a dreadnought, he does not get. I do not get to detect those subs, so they get first strike, or surprise strike rather. So they get to fire first. They miss. Cool. Okay, at least there's that. My damaged dreadnought has to do 1 round of combat. Miss. Okay. Alright, let's see. So nobody gets, besides my dreadnought being damaged, nothing here happens. Dang, okay. Well, since I'm damaged, that definitely puts a damper on things. Do I retreat and be an inconvenience in C Zone 26? Or do I stay here and fight and hope to get lucky? Very lucky, because if he hits me, I'm a goner before I get to hit him. I'll be more of an inconvenience, so I will retreat. Since I'm retreating into here. Actually, that's a good question. Should there be a mine here if I retreat? Going back into here. I don't think so. I don't think that's an out-of-box rule, but I could be wrong. Let me think. Do I do a... mine here? Well, I'm going to go ahead and roll for the mine, and if I miss... Okay, I missed. So anyway, I'm actually not sure if that's a rule that we have in our rule book. I will double check that later on. But anyway, yeah, so damage Dreadnought here in C-Zone, what is it, 26. No effect over here. Disappointment, but whatever, it is what it is. Anyway, so these 3 artillery and 1 infantry from Ingria attacking the lone German infantry here in Estonia. So we got 4 3s and 3 hits. Okay. His return fire. Miss. Okay. Nice. Okay. Right away that brings Rush up 1, German down 1. Okay. And then right here, the very unlikely victory. Oh, sorry. No, those stay here because I moved them in there already. So we got 2 artillery bumping up 2 infantry and an infantry that is not paired with artillery. Apologies for the cut there. I basically forgot to empty the trash of everything on my phone. So continuing where I left off. I know I was starting with this one, but actually, because this is what matters last, let's do Karelia. It makes more sense. He's got 2 defending 3s, and I have all of this. So I got 5 3s, because I have a machine gun and artillery. The machine gun bumps up 3 infantry, artillery bumps up another with itself, and then there's 3 2s, 3 infantry by themselves at 2. So here we go. Okay, 1, 2. Wow, this one's tilted a little bit because it's in the corner, but that's basically a 4. But yeah, I only got 2 hits, so that's cool. They're gone, infantry and artillery. And then his defending infantry artillery misses. Okay, cool. So technically going up 1 here. All right, and then we have this last battle here. We'll see how many hits I can muster. So again, it's an artillery towing, sorry, a cavalry towing 1 artillery into combat, bumping up another infantry, and then we have another pair infantry artillery, and then 1 infantry by itself. Hold on a second, let me get this other stuff out of here. These old dice. Okay. 1, 2, 2 hits. Pathetic 2 hits. Okay, that's fine. His return fire will be this and this. So he has a fighter, 6 infantry, and then because he has air supremacy, he has 6 dice right there. Yeah. So the 6 artillery bumped up to 4. Three, 4, 5. Yeah, like I thought. Yeah, he annihilated me, and then some. Yeah, so he got 7, 6. He got 8 hits against me. He only needed 5. So, these guys are gone. Oop. And doing this one-handed is always a pain in the butt. There we go. Okay, so he had 6 artillery. I got 2 infantry on him. Okay, and then I lose all that stuff, and he captures a cavalry, because cavalry that are towing cannot be taken as casualties, but if all the remaining units they're attacking with are eliminated, then a cavalry is captured. So Germany gets in a cavalry right there. So right now Germany has 4 infantry 4 infantry and a cavalry there, and the same 6 artillery and 1 fighter right there. Anyway, so there's that. So the revolution immediately occurs right now because the Central Powers control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I highly regret not going into Caucasus and attacking the Turks when I could as the British Empire, and I should have done that, even though it would have been detrimental to me. It would have at least held off this for another round. So unfortunately, I got to set up the Russian Civil War right now. I got to set up the Russian Civil War, and I'll cut and come back to that. None of this stuff gets to be placed. None of that gets to be placed. Sorry, picking up chips. None of that gets to be placed. So right now, the Russian Civil War immediately occurs. And right now, before I do the setup, I'm going to roll 2 dice to determine who goes first. You know, so let's get this stuff out of here. Do the same thing as I did before with the National Protection War. The red dice will be the Central Powers, and the green dice will be, or die rather, will be the Allied powers. The Soviets and the White Movement. More accurately. Anyway. And the Soviets go first. Okay, so that's how it's gonna be. I'm gonna cut and get the Russian Civil War set up because, as I think I've disclosed this already, I spoke to the Madman and he said he would agree to the armistice. So armistice is happening. All right, and so I'm back with the Russian Civil War setup, and as you can see, the Russian Revolution has occurred. The armistice has been offered to the Central Powers. They have accepted, and the Central Powers get to keep on to whatever territories they control, which are Lithuania, Belarus, Poland, Western Ukraine, Crimea, Volga, and Caucasus, right? Okay. And then any territory that they contested, they had to back out of. Austria-Hungary backed out of Eastern Ukraine to Crimea. And then everywhere else is, pretty much current. So Finland, since Finland was never controlled by the Central Powers, became a minor neutral power with 3 infantry and 1 artillery. And then the Soviet setup gets applied. All the Soviet territories, they always get these territories regardless. So the Central Powers control one of those Soviet territories, they forfeit those, right? So the Soviets get Ingria, Karelia, Central Russia, Turkmenia, Kazakhstan, Amur, and Siberia. And the capital is automatically moved from Ingria to Moscow, free of charge. And setup as such goes down. So there's 4 infantry, 1 artillery, and 1 cavalry in Ingria. There's 1 infantry in Karelia. There is 6 infantry, 2 artillery, 1 cavalry in Central Russia, 2 infantry, 1 cavalry in Kazakhstan, 1 infantry in Turkmenia, 2 infantry in Siberia, 2 infantry in Amur. And then the White Russians, and also this 1 Soviet cruiser in C-Zone 25 over here. The damaged Imperial Russian, or now White Russian, dreadnought in 26 remains because C units do not get removed from the board. So if there were still cruisers down here, they would still be in effect for the Ottomans. So they get the White Russians. They get 4 infantry, of the territories that they have available to them. They get 4 infantry in Archangel. They get 2 infantry and artillery in Kazan. Because Eastern Ukraine was contested, they get that territory with 1 infantry there. The Ottomans took Volga, so the White Russians normally would get, I think it's 3 infantry there, and they do not receive that because the Ottomans control it. Tatarstan gets 2 infantry and a cavalry. Urals gets 6 infantry, 2 cavalry, and 2 artillery. And then over here in Primorye, they get a cavalry, infantry, and artillery. And the Japanese units, so any allied units from Urals eastward get moved to Primorye. And any allied units that are west of that get moved to either Archangel or Urals. And we don't have this in the current rule book right now, but we're adding this. So if they're in a contested or contested or Russian controlled territory, they can optionally get moved to an adjacent allied controlled territory by another power. So for example, made a mistake there. So for example, if the Central Powers control or contest with the allied powers in Caucasus, right? Then British Empire, presumably they're in there. If it's contested, they can either move those units to Urals or Archangel. They can either move those territories, those units from Caucasus to Urals, Archangel, or to an adjacent territory that they control. So if they control Persia, they can back those units from Caucasus up into Persia, or split them in any manner that they wish. During the Russian Civil War, Archangel area was a very Allied controlled territory for a significant period of the war, with French and British units backing them up. And then over in the Far East, you had the Americans and Japanese backing them up over there. And I think you also had actually American units, American resources were going to Archangel as well. So anyway, that is the state of the Russian Civil War. So, Madman has come out on top, so he will go first for the Soviets, and I will retaliate with the White Russians, and then we'll get to Germany's turn for round 4. So, until then, let's hope I roll the dice better.